Redman is in the building, of course. Jersey's finest, all about them bars, marijuana smoker. Hey, PSA announcement. I need everybody go support. That's right, support my fucking state, my city. Heritage Hip Hop, a New Jersey media source that celebrates New Jersey hip hop worldwide. Facts. And we are celebrating our legends right here, Jersey, baby. Please subscribe to Heritage Hip Hop on social media. That is Heritage Hip Hop on social media. Jersey, you know I love you. Jersey, you know we got bars and we got music and we got legends all day. And if you believe in Jersey and you love Jersey like I do, support that Heritage Hip Hop on all social media platforms. This is Redman and I approve this message.
Yo, peace to everybody out there. Tonight is a special show because I'm a podcaster that doesn't believe that you should only watch my show, only give me your views and all that. I believe in hip hop culture. So welcome to what I call the premier hip hop podcast, hip hop culture show that celebrates your future favorite artist today while celebrating hip hop culture from its beginning to tomorrow. And when we do that, we bring on faces and people that make this culture great. And on my side, I have a person not only who has been doing something similar to what I do, but he also has a better theme to it when it comes to how he critiques artists individually and their work. Please subscribe to heritagehiphop.com, subscribe to Heritage Hip Hop, and check out my man right here. Introduce yourself to the people, bro.
Oh man, first, thanks for having me, bro. This look, they just call me Tony, man. Some people call me Tony the Dome, you know what I'm saying, on all different social media outlets, and you know, the Dome podcast where I have, and also Tony the Dome website where of course I write articles and things of that nature as well. So, you know, yeah, just a dude that love hip hop. People know not just hip hop. Let me preface this real quick. I am not a hip hop platform. I'm a music platform. So when you see my page or you follow me, you know I'm not just talking about Biggie Smalls. I'm talking about Madonna and Tammy Terrell as well. You know what I'm saying? So just a music lover, man, who enjoy the music community, man, all over, bro. That's it. But salute to you too, man, and thanks for having me.
Oh no, this was supposed to happen because I've been trying to get on a conversation with you for a long time because I like to build with my peers. I'm not someone who's like, man, F them or whatever. I like to build and talk with everybody because that's how not only you promote your brand, that's how you make your brand better. Just like the Bible says, a man is supposed to go and get knowledge and come back to his people. Our people are so hoarded that we don't share our knowledge. And I think that's very important within our community.
Yeah, that's a fact, man. And just real quick, you know, it's funny. Today I reposted 2 different videos of people I speak to, and one guy, you know, my guy R.A. the Rugged Man, who was talking about if you love hip hop, then you should study the history of it, know what you're talking about, show the love to it, but also you gotta be willing to listen. But you got to research. You know what I'm saying? You can't just be typing. You know, some people just want to be. They want to be a rush to be first instead of rush to being right. We're in the age of information, man. So we all need to be building together. But we got to tell the truth, too.
Facts. So let's go into some truthful conversation. Make sure y'all hit the like button, subscribe to our platforms. Not only that, if you're going to ask any questions, you can be added into the show. This is not a call-in show yet, but participation does reap its benefits when it comes to Heritage Hip Hop. So let's just get started. Hip hop to me is the only music landscape that I can call a culture, because hip hop has so much to it when it comes to what defines it rather than music. Do you agree? And how do you look at hip hop?
Yeah, I mean, because it's literally a lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? As far as like, you know, a lot of the young kids in the late 70s, early 80s in the Bronx, of course, you know, when it was starting to circulate, manifest, they daily life instead of, hey, we're not gonna be doing violence and gang fights and all that. We're gonna break dance. We're gonna do graffiti. I mean, it was literally your day-to-day life. It was active outside of just making music, and no other music was really like that unless you might want to think about maybe some Harlem Renaissance with some jazz, where some of the jazz musicians might have been artists as well, you know what I'm saying, and painting and drawing and writing poetry and stuff on some Langston Hughes type stuff. But you know, hip hop is really action and music. So it is probably the only true culture. You know what I'm saying? Just like what most devs said on Black on Both Sides, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like people always ask me how hip hop doing. Well, we are hip hop, so how what we doing is how hip hop is doing. You know what I'm saying? So to your point, it's absolutely a living thing.
See, this is how I used to break hip hop down. Because hip hop is special to me because as a black youth, young black youth, we always had people tell us you're not good enough. And if they didn't say it outright, they showed it to you on TV. Because the kids nowadays have black superheroes, black wrestlers, and all that. We ain't had that. You know what I'm saying? And the way I break down hip hop is like the body. When everything works together, it's harmony. When the beat and the MC work together, we have harmony. You know what I'm saying? When you go through journey, you take steps. When you write notes, you write on those lines. Some people call those lines steps. You know what I'm saying? When you have a heartbeat, your body works. When the song has a beat, then you start to work. You work your spirit. You know what I'm saying? Everything is fluid. When did that fluidity hit you, and you really saw hip hop as something special, and you wanted to get into it?
Look, man, my big brother 7 years older than me, you know, so we're talking about he was doing local parties and stuff in the neighborhood in like 1985, you know what I'm saying? And so, I was in the room watching him getting his records and stuff because he DJ, and I saw the Run DMC records and you know, and stuff like that. And I'm playing on them records. You know, when he go away, I'm scratching and stuff. Like he taught me how to do it. But then when he would leave the house to go do what he was doing, because he's kind of the streets a little bit too at the time. I'm real young. I'm scratching his joints while he gone. You know what I'm saying? I'm scratching to "It's Like That" by Run DMC. You know, I'm scratching to Egyptian Lover type stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like early joints, early like Cold Cuts Brothers records, early like, you know what I'm saying, the Grandmaster Flash, Melly Mel. Even though the message came out 82, I got into it around 84. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. I was starting to get old enough to understand it because, you know, that was like one of the first song that kind of took it there and gave you that visual of city life and inner city kids and stuff like that outside of what Marvin Gaye would have done on what's going on. But yeah, man, so it was been early 80s, man. You know what I'm saying? I was able to see a lot early because I had a brother that was 7 years older than me already DJing in the mid 80s, man. So my love started right then, man. Run DMC's self-titled album is the album that I say made me fall in love with hip hop. And it was after hearing that, to be honest with you, you know, I probably haven't gone a day without listening to some hip hop since 1985, you know, whatever.
That's deep. What's your territory? Where you from?
I'm in North Carolina.
Now, see that right there opens up a whole lot of questions.
It does.
Because North Carolina started getting hot, from what I understand, around 1991. Because people from up top really started venture out there to learn in your culture.
They did.
What was hip hop culture before 1991? What was it around that time, and how did it?
I'm gonna tell you what's funny. And I was telling some people this not too long ago. Even though North Carolina is the South, North Carolina is also a melting pot. You know what I'm saying? So in the mid 80s, we was getting the music kind of fast, believe it or not, and we was getting music from obviously New York. You know what I'm saying? As far as like the LL Cool J was massive in North Carolina, of course. Run DMC, all the massive artists that was huge everywhere else in America and everywhere else all up in New York State and all that. They was huge in North Carolina. The difference was the South wasn't really making that kind of music yet, but the West Coast started popping off with Ice-T. You know what I'm saying? And we got NWA. The DOC, even though we know from Texas and all that, but the whole movement with the West Coast, I'm talking about this years before Death Row. You know what I'm saying? So we was up on the West Coast too. So North Carolina is unique when it comes to that because we engulf the East and the West, and then of course leading into the early 90s, of course Jermaine Dupri and did their things. But once Outkast hit with Southern Playlist, so nevertheless we gravitated to all of it. So for me, my journey has been, you know, the same way I would love a Nas, the same way I love MC8, same way I love, you know what I'm saying, someone from the South at that time, whatever. So it will be Outkast, you know. So we're lucky here. We're lucky here.
As a melting pot, because you got everything. See,
everything.
See, when you look at North Carolina, right? North Carolina is looked at in two ways. North Carolina is looked at as P.D. Pablo
Yeah.
or J. Cole. There really is no middle ground. It's either you represent one style or the other. And like from people, I'm from Jersey. Everybody who doesn't know, shame on you. But for us, it was P.D. Pablo. Shout out to Esther Baxter, because that was the real North Carolina gym right there. And then after that, it was Justice League.
Yeah, but see, but the funny thing was this. P.D. Pablo, when it came to like sports events and stuff like that, or some hood spots or whatever, his joints would pop off. Go, P.D. a hood cat. You know what I'm saying? Like on some real, don't let them songs fool you. Just like a lot of people always think about North Carolina. No, bro, you better do your research about North Carolina. You know what I'm saying? So Pablo was like that, but so he was popular when it came to that. But the hip hop heads in North Carolina treated him like any other commercial rapper. You know what I'm saying? Because he was rocking out with a lot of cats in Virginia, rocking out with Timberland and all that. So we liked him and we respected him because he a real one. But it was more like, okay, that's radio and club joints. Again, the hip hop heads wasn't listening to that. Then of course, once the Justice League gave you that feel, of course, of the native tongues, the hieroglyphics, and all of that stuff. Because I mean, the producers are disciples of Pete Rock. I mean, we're talking about, and people that know me know, and they've seen, they know. I know Knife, and I grew up with a lot of those guys and stuff like that. So he was loved DJ Premier, loved Pete Rock, really loved these guys. So they're making boom bap soul sample music between him and Crisis and a lot of other guys that was making beats in the Justice League. So, and then when Little Brother came out, they probably reminded people of your Black Moon and Daylight and Tribe, and they were definitely a combination of all, like I said, the native tongues and also even the hit squad to a degree. You know what I'm saying? And again, hieroglyphics. So most people started noticing North Carolina, but because of that, in terms of artists, you got P.D. Pablo open the door, and then of course Justice League, and then Little Brother was catching a lot of steam on the underground doing the OK Player days and all that. A lot of people really respected them. Questlove and the Roots and all them co-signed them early, co-signed Knife early. Then, of course, the big thing when he got the placement on the Black album, everything changed after that down here because now he's working with Destiny Child and Mary J. Blige. And now he becomes who he is now. And so North Carolina really got elevated again, truthfully, because of him, because now he's working with platinum artists and they're respecting him and he's getting shout-outs from them. And then again, Fonte branches off with Nicolay, who is from the Netherlands, and do the foreign exchange. And then they get a Grammy nod, you know what I'm saying, for Leave It All Behind, you know what I'm saying, back in like 2008. And now we're talking about R&B and hip hop and all that with foreign exchange and stuff like that. So with Fonte. So yeah, man, that was a moment for us, man. We was really excited and happy about what the Justice League was doing.
Facts. One of my favorite MCs from North Carolina was Kazi, man. I like Kevin Kazi. Yeah,
he's dope, man. He was around. I remember him being around. I want to say his first project was produced fully by Knife. You know what I'm saying? If I'm not mistaken.
That's that one. If the soul is the key of life, or the full.
That might be the one, but it might be something before that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But I want to say Knife did a lot of production with him early on, with it, like he did with a lot of people who was either in Justice League or around the league, around Raleigh, Durham at the time, and then some of us here, and we from Winston, you know what I'm saying? So he was also doing some stuff with some people here in Winston also.
Okay. So, like, we had Video Music Box. Like, my god of hip-hop is not a rapper. It's Ralph McDaniels. Video Music Box, to me, is the key to me understanding hip-hop. Did y'all have your own thing, or did y'all have access to that? Like, what was your viewpoint that led to the lens of hip hop for you?
Man, to be honest, from North Carolina, we talking about early days of hip hop. Unfortunately for us down in the South, it was whatever MTV was playing. When Yo MTV Raps, the early times of Yo MTV Raps, when I think Run DMC was the first to put them on the map, and then you had we love Run DMC, so obviously Run DMC, Beastie Boys, and Public Enemy, everybody on Yo MTV Rap. So that was one of our gateways right there. Yo MTV Rap, and of course when BET started playing, rap and stuff like that. And then of course there were a few radio stations here, maybe like 107 State and stuff like that would play some hip hop. You know what I'm saying? So it was mostly, you know what I'm saying, for my recollection, it was being that, and then at some point getting the music, man, down here, you know, tapes and stuff like that, bootleg stuff at some point. It made it down here because I started collecting that stuff early. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we unfortunately we didn't have a video and music box. Now I'm not sure if someone down here had access. I don't remember watching it like that till it wasn't live anymore with like y'all. You know what I mean? I saw it like after the fact. You know what I'm saying? But the early days, of course, was getting them records, man, and doing it ourselves down here, and then watching your own TV raps.
Okay. So I don't want to go into the hard hitting stuff yet. I'm trying to like paint a picture of appreciation, culture from where you are, because I think people today are spoiled because they don't know how hard it was to get into hip hop back in the day when you had to stay up to listen to the radio at 11:30, 12 o'clock, or like me and one of my best friends. Shout out to my man Simply Put. You know, that's his rhyme name. My man Simp. He talked about with his daughter. He was telling her back in the day, you don't know what it's like to have your lunch money and decide not to eat lunch for the week to go buy a tape.
For real, bro.
You wanted to have something, and then when you listen to it, you sat with it, you opened the tape up, you read the credits, and now everything is just so easily accessible that hip-hop music has become such a commodity that is now a poor man's version in the black culture.
You know, Doc, you know what's funny? You made me think back to, I remember one time I was like, man, I gotta go cut some grass today so I can go buy De La Soul 3 Feet High and Rising. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta go buy some other stuff on your own. So I remember cutting grass, yo. I saved me some money. I went and bought like De La Soul 3 Feet High and Rising, and I might have got like at some point, maybe right after that, like end of the day, maybe for life after that, whatever the case may be. Like you said, you literally had to go and find hip hop. Now hip hop is a click away. You know what I'm saying? So they all spoiled now. They take it for granted now. All that good stuff. We also was collecting records. We had to go to the record store and buy records. And then after the records kind of died down some, unless you was in the vinyl, we started having to buy tapes. And it was a big deal. And even when your friends trying to borrow your tape, like, yo, let me hold that Slick Rick tape. Nah, dog, you can't hold it. So you can listen to me right now. You can't take it with. You can't take my Slick Rick. You can't take my Dana Dane tape.
Back, right? It won't
you know
come back.
So, but to your point again, man, it's like we had to go out. We had to make a conscious effort to work for, unless our parents bought, we had to buy music. It wasn't no YouTube, wasn't no streaming, it wasn't no free music. You know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't even want to let the people hold it so they can make a copy of it.
Right. That's a fact. You know what's even tougher? Remember when CDs first came out? He was like, damn, it's double the money.
Yep.
And then not on top was it double the money. The thing about the CD was not only did you have to upgrade your technology to enjoy it, it seemed like it was more exclusive at one point because the CD was like privilege.
And you know what? And look, you said something about the price. That was a big decision. I remember being in school, you know, and when I went to college, and I worked for the university, and every month I get a check. And I remember sometimes that check might fall on a Tuesday, and anybody in our generation know that on a Tuesday is when the release of all the music. And there were certain Tuesdays where there's like 4 dope albums coming out. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'll never forget, like in '96, man, like my junior year or whatever. I remember going to the record store and I bought like De La Soul 3 Feet High. No, something. De La Soul Stakes Are High. Jay-Z was without. Nas, it was written. Yeah, Tribe, Beast Rhymes, and Life. Yeah, like Legal Drug Money with Lost Boy. All these albums coming out around the same time and stuff like that. So I remember like, I can buy 2 of them today. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, get my man to buy 2. And we'll be on campus like kind of trading them. Then next time I get paid, I'm about the other 2. You know, so or you might make a decision like, all right, I got some new sneakers last month. I'm about 4 albums today. You know what I'm saying? And like now I don't spend my whole check for the music. And that's what people don't, to your point. That was a big deal. We spent all our money and we sitting around all weekend, listen to the music. If you had a car, we'd be riding to it. Everybody right now want to listen to an album one time and rank it right the first time they hear it. You know, it's like we will put an album in the car, in the room, or wherever we put it at, and we'll listen to the album like 50 times.
You're right.
They don't do that no more.
Memorize whole albums.
We knew every word to every album we had.
That's right. We sat with the album for months.
Bro, I can spit every word of Midnight Marauders right now. That's just how it was. and pay the full.
Yeah. Those are the days, man. And today, hip hop is good, but it's so oversaturated that the enjoyment factor of the music seems to lessen more and more, and people like controversy. Like right now, if we had a show right now on right here that says "Why Nas is ass" and hip hop suffers because of him, or Mass Appeal missed the mark, people would love this show. Yeah, you know, whenever you talk something positive, people just, especially about the music, they don't mess with it. But when you really talk about the love of the culture, it seems like podcasting and giving the message is a labor of love more so than a career that carries you monetarily. Do you agree? And what do you think that is?
Yeah, but you know, just the thing. Once people have figured out the controversy and get them a check, whether it's YouTube or anything else within the culture, then it becomes, okay, how can I get this clickbait? How can I say something to go viral, you know what I mean, for a moment so I can get a bunch of views and get my little check every month or whatever, you know. So now it's like certain platforms, when I read some stuff, and that's like, I don't even know how authentic it is because you're trying to get views on YouTube. Do you believe what that title says? Or do you believe some of the rhetoric I'm listening to real quick when I click your video? I might click it for like 10 minutes. I'm like, oh, this what y'all doing? Click that off. You know what I'm saying? Because I take pride in really being a music historian. I take it serious. I don't joke around about music. Anybody that follow me know that. Some people love me for that. I got 2 or 3 big accounts before. Don't like me for that because I ain't gonna play y'all games. I don't play music, politics, nothing. That's not the way it works. So for me, I don't like the BS. Authentic stuff will last, and those are the people gonna respect you for a long time. You know what I'm saying? So I'm all about, let's talk honest. Let's not say no shot value. Let's not sit here and pat your shoulder knife. Man, why Jay-Z only got one good album? Get out of here with the dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, because that's not authentic, because you've been intellectually dishonest. You're not being honest. You know what I'm saying? So if people who follow me know that's not the way I do any of my episodes. Any of the guests I've ever had on my show, we built those relationships, real talk, and no politics with it. You know what I'm saying? All the industry people I do know, it's been just authentic. A lot of them came through Twitter. You know what I'm saying? And we DM and had a conversation, and the relationship took off from there. And they know I'm not gonna ever say nothing that we've talked about in privacy. We're not gonna ever do that. That's not the conversation. People have seen me in the studio and pictures of me and Knife in the studio and stuff like that. I'm not gonna tell you what we talk about. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say that to get a rise, to get more views on one of my shows or all that, when this is somebody I know in real life. You know what I'm saying? Even if I didn't know somebody in real life, I'm not even gonna say something private me and you will talk about. You know what I'm saying? So now you gotta work it's a circus now for some platforms. And I'm not even talking about a platform that might have 500 people. I'm talking about platforms that got 20,000, 30, 40, whatever, and get all these views. A lot of that rhetoric, man, is not being honest. And so you're watering down some of the message in hip hop. We're going to spread this information. There's younger people who appreciate real hip hop history. And I've had plenty, DM me plenty, and say, man, I appreciate you always showing love to hip hop and giving like little lessons and stuff like that. That's what we're supposed to be doing. So we older and out the way, the next kid who really serious about this culture and really love it will be doing what you and I are doing right now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now. You know, still saying, hey, we got to keep that real hip hop, that good hip hop, you know what I'm saying, like really known, and don't let nobody water down the essence of the culture, man. But we keep letting some of these, we got to gatekeep some of it, not all of it. Some stuff got to be gatekept.
I want to give a shout out to you. I want to give a shout out to Justin Hunt, the company, man. My dude. Yeah. I want to give a shout out to Doggy Diamonds. That's my guy, 100%. I want to give a shout out to Ralph McDaniels, Sway, Soren Baker, Unique Access into Entertainment. I want to give a shout out to Ambrosia for Heads. I named them because those are the ones that feed me today. And support, like I said, super salute shout out to Kurt Nice. Okay. Of course, Ralph McDaniels. Are you familiar with all those names?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, so the importance of hip hop media is what I think has been shattered within the last 20 years, because I don't have a problem with the common man giving his opinion. I have a problem when people are set up to divisively destroy the culture from the inside by giving false narrative and perspective to a fertile mind and let them run with a belief that they have never even thought. Yeah. What do you think about that?
That's absolutely true. And it's great responsibility when we have a platform as well. You know what I mean? So there are some who represent it well, and there are some they're a huge platform. They've been in the industry. They have a name, and I still look at the clickbait that some of them do. And I'm like, man, you're doing the culture a disservice, because you have thousands of people listening in to you every week, and you sitting here talking this nonsense that is not true, or you sensationalize it so you can stay getting these numbers. And once numbers became this important with some platforms, don't get me wrong, there's some that talk good hip hop. You named some that I do respect. You know what I mean? I think some of them do carry the essence of things, and some don't. So I guess for fans, you got to weave out, you know what I'm saying, anyone who's not being honest with their assessments. And we don't have to agree. We can agree to disagree and keep it moving. That's fine, but let's still not losing any integrity. And let's not also try to change and alter hip hop history, you know what I'm saying, for some clicks. Because that happens every day.
Every day.
I fight it every day.
Shout out to hip hop Twitter. Because hip hop Twitter has to be some of the most weirdest, nuttiest people I've ever. Shout out to my group on Twitter, The Block. We hold it down. Shout out Old Head T. Shout out to Bata, Sincere. My man Ant. Shout out B-Lou. Shout out to Mister. Shout out to I forgot everybody's name. I'm sorry, y'all. I apologize, because we doing a lot, but that's my clique on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? And one thing about hip hop Twitter, you'll see tweets like, is Kendrick Lamar the worst rapper out today? Right. Or why is Academics the king of hip hop? And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I laugh at most of it. Sometimes I comment just for the sake of, because it's funny to me. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, some stuff you see, man. And again, they want to get that $14 a month, I guess. I don't know, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's weird. It's weird to me. People can't put that on me. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I take it serious. So I have fun with it as well. But you want to be accurate in telling stories about what happened. And also, one thing I said too is, people will try to alter hip hop history when someone's actually lived through it. How you gonna tell me something that happened? I talked to this guy one time. He's 21 years old. He trying to tell me how 1996 was. I said, young homie, you wasn't even born yet. I was grown. So what are we talking about here? I said, I ain't trying to school you, but I will use information how it was to be grown when Big and Pop was living, this travel even back then. And to hear music, be in New York to hear it, be in LA to hear it, be in Atlanta to hear it 95. I'm like, I lived that, bro. So yes, if me and you having a conversation, you asking about Tupac, I'm telling you how it was in 94, 95, 96 when Pop was alive. Do you want to hear the truth, or do you want to hear some made up stuff from the internet? So that's one of the problems too, man. A lot of people believe a lot of people who wasn't even around when with hip hop in the 80s and 90s and stuff like that. And they altering what actually happened, man. You got a lot of kids misled. Now a lot of people being called out. A lot of people not even from the culture, you know what I'm saying? And some of them end up growing big platforms and lying and about hip hop, and also spreading certain narratives and had a following. Quite a few people been getting called out lately.
Let's talk about some of that as we go in. We're gonna have some fun today. We're gonna have some real hip hop discourse. I talked to one of my peoples on Twitter. Shout out to my man Hip Hop Heroes. That's my guy, yo. He a Jay-Z fanatic. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes he go a little overboard to me, but to each his own. You know what I'm saying? And he's not who I'm bringing up. But I see his desire when he talks. There's some people who have a desire to talk. Not him though. They have a desire to talk and they go overboard. Like I saw a tweet the other day was like Mary J. Blige would wash Whitney Houston in the verses. And I was like, and you believe that? You know what I'm saying? And that person, I think he blocked me. But you know what I'm saying? I'm like, nah, like you saying it, like my man B. Lou say, stand on it. You know what I'm saying? Stand on it.
Yeah.
Wow. What is this? What are we doing here? And people would take popularity and try to make it history.
Yeah, they will.
You remember this conversation? Tribe Called Quest's first album is a classic now.
Tribe Called Quest? Yeah.
The first album now is a classic. It's better than Midnight Marauders.
Yeah, I haven't heard that. I'm not even sure who would type that.
It's been up there. I've seen it.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. I mean, both of them are great albums, but I mean, obviously, Midnight Marauders is 10 times better than People Instinctive Travel. Let's be serious. But People Instinctive is a dope album, but they're not on the same level.
Okay. How about this? How about this hip hop Twitter joint I like? Juvenile Hell from Mobb Deep is a classic.
Yeah, look, man, I don't know who you follow. I haven't even seen that on that timeline.
Yo,
but
DJ EFS said that on Drink Champs as well.
He said that.
He said now Juvenile Hell is becoming a classic in hip hop circles. Yes.
So again, these are the people now. So I did a video years ago about the cool thing to say, the cool hip hop thing to say, because some people think they're gonna get their hip hop license revoked. You know what I'm saying, for speaking facts. Now, common sense will tell you that Juvenile Hell, first of all, it wasn't even a good album like that. They had the little hitter from the back, and I mean, it was all right little album. They was kids, man. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't like that. But again, it sounds good to say, oh man, Mobb Deep first album's a classic. First of all, some people still think Infamous their first album. You know what I'm saying? But the ones who who do know that Juvenile Hell their first album, I don't know how anybody with a straight face would even say something crazy like Juvenile Hell is a class. Man, Juvenile Hell 3 mics from being nice. What we talking about?
Man,
that's nuts.
But they have so many conversations like this. I'm gonna give you another one. Big L's first album is a classic.
I'm gonna tell you something real quick about that. Man, about 2 years ago, I did some tweet about Big L, and when I tell you, people came for my head. It even got to a point where people kept on tagging Buck Wild, you know what I'm saying, who I respect, you know what I'm saying, and he came and made a comment to me. I said what I said to him, and then he was like, man, you know what? I feel what you're saying. I said, man, I ain't gonna disrespect you, man. You're a dope producer, man. You did your thing, man. Hip hop, you know. So I respect you, but I'm gonna always stand on what I say. I don't give a shit who y'all tag. When I tweet something, you could tag whoever. You could tag Russell Simmons. It's not gonna change my opinion on this culture or on what I like. You know what I'm saying? So, but no, man, when I said what I said, when I tell you people went crazy about Big L, and now the Big L thing is a cool thing to say now too. Like you're more hip hop if you say Big L is a top 10 MC. You more hip hop if you say Lifestyles of Poor and Dangerous is a classic and all that stuff. Some of these people, look, one thing I did when I did that tweet, I showed a picture of the album. When I bought it, I had Lifestyles in 1995, Columbia Records at School Kids in Greensboro when I was at UNCG and A&T. I'm at the record store again, spending my money on Big L first album. You can't tell me nothing about Big L. But what I'll tell you is that album wasn't considered a classic in 1995. It ain't a classic right now. Does he have some heat on there? Yes. Is he rhyming his ass off on there? Absolutely. But in 1995, the albums that came out weren't even different level. You talking about the Infamous. You talking about Liquid Swords. You talking about Only Built for Cuban Links. You know what I'm saying? You talking about all these 1995 albums that was amazing. Mr. Smith. I did a whole show on that before. It's a long list of amazing 1995 albums, and it unfortunately, Big L album wasn't talked about in 1995 with most hip hop heads like that. I mean, if you was in Harlem, sure. If you was in New York, sure. But sometimes people think because something happened in somebody's region that it's everywhere. No, Big L wasn't no big star. And if anybody being honest real quick, even in New York, if they do the knowledge, they'll see that before he passed, about a year, I'm not even a year before he passed, maybe a year, He did the Jewels tour with OC, and he was OC hype man over in Europe. And ain't nothing wrong with that. He was the opening act for OC's second album, Jewels, and he was the hype man. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't this big rap star. He was respected as a dope lyricist. Yes, we know that he was probably gonna sign with Rockefeller because he know Dame from Harlem. He knew Jay. Everybody know now, but in retrospect, the 7-minute freestyle with him and Jay, all of that. He was an amazing MC, but he died young. And unfortunately, his first album wasn't some hip-hop classic like Doggy Style or America's Most Wanted or Illmatic and some of the Ready to Die, some of the other guys who had 5 mic debut albums. Big L album was maybe 4 mics if I'm being generous. He was rhyming though.
It was generous. It was a good album. It wasn't great.
It ain't nothing wrong with good.
Yeah, it's not, because that means he did his thing, and now we're still talking about him and waited for his new music to come out. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, yes, rest in peace to Big L.
Yeah.
Before we go to break, we gotta have the controversial intro. And my question is, what is a classic, and is that word being thrown around too easily and too much in today's climate of hip hop?
First of all, the word classic is thrown around way too much in hip hop. It's been thrown around way too much in hip hop for the last about 10 years. Every dope album is a classic now. Every great album is a classic now. Every good album is a classic now. Or just because you like them a whole lot, it's a classic now. Well, my definition always been the same. A classic gonna have so one thing is a classic, a hip hop classic, not a personal classic, not a regional classic. Because there's different type of classic albums that we need to be able to define. There are personal classics for you, which ain't nothing wrong with it. Everybody got the personal classics. Do you have a universal hip hop classic like Dr. Dre, The Chronic? And I'll give you the list of why that's my example. Then of course you got a regional classic. You know what I'm saying? Because for example, a regional classic might be Black Moon Enter the Stage, but is that going to be a classic globally? Is it going to be a classic to a kid that's in Compton? Well, I tell you what, The Chronic's still a classic to anybody, no matter what borough you in New York. If you be honest. That's why Snoop said, y'all don't love us? Come on. But some joint are regional, and there's nothing wrong with that either. But a universal classic album to me is going to have, you know what I'm saying, the impact. It's going to, it also might have influence, either lyrics, production, or something to that effect, a lingo or slang. Or it could be like De La Soul, 3 Feet High and Rising that really started skits and rap albums. And that changed hip hop. Because after that, a lot of people from 1989, 3 Feet High and Rising to 2025 put skits all over the albums, and it changed the experience of an album, having skits in there and stuff like that. So yeah, like I said, it could be some sales with that, maybe, but it's more about the impact. Did it influence other MCs? Did it influence other producers? Was the engineering? Did the engineering change after that? Like when Public Enemy and the Bomb Squad did to Take the Nation to Millions. You know what I'm saying? Or the Ultramatic MCs did they album. Or what Dr. Dre did with The Chronic, changing the sound of West Coast hip hop, but changing the sound of hip hop anyway, because he's still to this day the best engineer in hip hop. You know what I'm saying? So you got things like that influence. The album gotta get, you know, Nas Illmatic a classic because it's one of the first albums, not the first one. I've debunked that already. We'll get into that, but it's the most popular album with multiple producers. You know what I'm saying? Now, when the other week I posted the Youngsters album, and they had all those New York producers on the album too, and it came out like a year before Illmatic, but people don't talk about that. I did a whole post about it anyway. But Illmatic, as the MC Nas was, and having the popular guys like Q-Tip and Large Professor and all them at the same time, nobody had that kind of lineup, so that did change hip hop. So it's a classic. And then the Source said it was, and the Source was the Bible at the time for hip hop, so you got to roll with the Source said.
And the Source got so much shit wrong. But I never heard Nas was the first album with multiple producers. I heard that was the first super producer album.
Well, but my point is
interesting though.
But the Youngsters album the year before that had super producers on it.
That's interesting.
If people go back, I ain't gonna name the people. Go back to the Youngsters album. I think the 1993 Youngsters album.
This is something for the Youngsters. That one or the second album?
I think this is the second one in 1993. I think they had one before that. But if you look at the track listing, you're going to see some who's who of production on it. And that predates Illmatic. And LES wasn't a super producer. He was Nas' homie from QB. Even though he did do legendary track Life a Bitch, he wasn't a super producer.
Hey, man, let's talk about it. Before we go to break, Leather Flower says classic is definitely misunderstood. It denotes, for me, history and impact on the culture, envelope pushing and hitting T gems. Well, keep that in mind because we ain't even get to the hot topics yet.
I agree with that.
I'm not a hot topic dude, but for my man's right here, out of respect, I wanted to pick his brain to get some understanding of something from a different perspective. We'll be back right after this. Make sure you stay tuned. Hey, Tony, watch this.
Where you get your hip hop from? Yeah. What's up? This tribal trigger trench in the building. You already know. Nip, naughty.
Hey, Redman is in the building, of course. Jersey's finest, all about them bars, marijuana smoker. Hey, PSA announcement. I need everybody go support. That's right, support my fucking state, my city. Heritage Hip Hop, a New Jersey media source that celebrates New Jersey hip hop worldwide. Facts. Please subscribe to Heritage Hip Hop on social media. That is Heritage Hip Hop on social media.
What up, y'all, man? It's your boy Do It All, Do Pray Kelly, right here on Heritage Hip Hop, man. Look, man, let me tell you something. Make sure you support Heritage Hip Hop because without these brothers bringing you hip hop, we're not gonna stay informed, man, the way that we need to stay informed, man. And they're not just giving you hip hop, man. They're giving you the heritage of hip hop right here, man. Yo, Karab, I see you. Heritage Hip Hop, man. Let's do it. It ain't nothing like Heritage Hip Hop.
I told you we rock to our own stuff at Heritage Hip Hop, man. I'm with my man Tony the Dome right now, and welcome back to the show. And now we're gonna start talking about some hard-hitting things in hip hop that really needs to be addressed. And I want to know what you think. Hip hop talks about a lot of things, and there's certain messages that are not spoken of in hip hop. What do you think hip hop, or what would you like to see hip hop talk about and lead conversation going into the future that's being ignored right now?
We do need that sector of conscious hip hop again as well. Kendrick kind of was holding that part down by himself, and J. Cole to a degree. You know, I was not, you know, to Pimp a Butterfly type albums and stuff like that. We need more of those albums. You know, we need more positive messages from big artists because right now one or two can't do it when it's still so much dysfunction, you know, still hitting the airwaves and still you got a lot of, and I don't name these people, but there are a lot of images and stuff that we need to balance out in because the young kids and the young people are so impressionable. They still want to live like some of these, you know, even like when you think about like drill hip hop, you know what I'm saying? Like some of these guys are really in the streets, you know what I'm saying? A lot of these guys dying for real. Some of these young ladies are, I mean, of course we had our, you know, stuff in the 90s, but we also had Latifah, MC Light, all of them as well. But, you know, we had Kim and Fox and stuff. You had the strip club joint types. But now it's so overwhelming. We need more people like Rhapsody. You know, we need more people like Shay and all that stuff like that. But hip-hop right now, the visuals gotta change a little bit. We need more Kendricks, man. I know some people gonna be haters and don't want to hear that, but we need more To Pimp a Butterflies, man. We need more consciousness, man. We had a point in time, man, in my generation where at the same time we had NWA and all of that, we had X-Clan, we had Brand Nubians, we had Public Enemy, we had De La Soul, we had Tribe Called Quest, we had all of that. We had Outkast, but we have Mobb Deep, okay, the yin and the yang. We might have UGK talking about what they talk about, but we still got the Jungle Brothers. You know what I'm saying? We got the balance of everything. We got a Dog Pound and Snoop and all of them. You know what I'm saying? But then they still got Souls of Mischief over there. You know what I'm saying? We got Scarface kicking consciousness. You know what I'm saying? Street consciousness. You know, so we need more of that too. We need more Scarfaces. We need more K-Dots. You know, and stuff. You know, what Nas is doing is great with Masterfield. You know what I'm saying? So we're looking forward to hopefully more releases next year, man. But hip-hop kind of need a little, now don't get me wrong, hip-hop ain't dying. You know, since I know life support or none of that goofy shit I be reading sometime on Twitter. It's none of that. I'm just saying visually, it can always enhance more. We can always get a few more positive people in the forefront, push their music a little bit more, stuff like that. That would be my only complaint. The other stuff is going to be fine. Great MCs are still putting out great projects. This year, groups did an amazing job. 4 or 5 groups had great group albums this year. You know what I'm saying? So hip hop 2025 is, to me, is doing great. I don't care about billboards. It's doing great. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, more positive images can always help a culture. You know.
You know who I'm proud of? My GOAT, my personal GOAT, is Redman.
Okay.
And I was looking at the ghetto motivation video, and instead of it being a video that's somehow about, you know, whatever, he turned the video into like a visual of human sex trafficking and why that's a problem. Redman to me has been going from, if you remember the George Floyd, Black in America, he talked about being a father and talking about his kids. So, you know, everybody think about Redman, think about weed and all this stuff, but he's actually giving you positive messages and images in his videos to go with the music he's produced. And that's why I think hip hop's saving grace has not been the music, it's been the maturity of the artists and how they're putting out their work. What do you say?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I agree with you 100%, man. You know, and just real quick, man, I'm a big Redman fan as well, and I appreciate what Redman has done because a lot of people don't know. You know, Redman's a DJ and all that before he was even rhyming. You know what I'm saying? I think I want to say what he doing some DJing for was it Do It All and all for Lord's Underground? All he was, you know, so he has a deep history in the culture, man, with the rhyming, the making the beats. You know what I'm saying? I love the way he always performing on stage. Muddy Waters, one of my favorite rap albums and stuff like that. So he's, you know, I just want to make sure I give a shout out to Redman as well, man. He's definitely been good for the culture, man. He's funny, always been a lyricist, but a funny lyricist. You needed people like him and Biz Markie and you know what I'm saying? People got personalities, man, make you laugh and stuff like that, man. And he definitely did that, man. But yeah, to your other point, the right music has to be put out. The right messages in that music has to be put out, and you can't be scared to do it. And that's why I said I appreciated the vulnerability of your J. Cole's and Kendrick and some of the younger guys because they took chances and they made songs and had messages. I remember also doing that whole time with the George Floyd and all that stuff like that. J. Cole went on that performing a song "Be Free" or something like that on that late night talk show. Was it not
Kimmel or Fallon? One of those?
It was one of those types. He performed at Be Free, and it's deep. You know what I'm saying? He spoke on the black community, the stuff with George Floyd, Barack Obama, all that stuff. So we need people brave enough to say, you know, I ain't worried about the cool thing to say. Let me make sure I'm putting the appropriate messages out there too to kind of balance out some of the. I mean, you're gonna get your NBA young boys and stuff like that. I'm not hating on him. When I was younger, we had Easy and all of them. But at the same time we're having them, we got to make sure, you know what I'm saying, that the right words are being spoken, man. Like that's why I was so glad when Common came back out with the Auditorium with Pete Rock, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that, man. It was really good to hear that. It was so good to hear this De La Soul album. Arrested Development has a dope album that reminds you of early 90s hip hop, and you know they're gonna have consciousness in it, and they probably got one of the most underrated albums of the year because you wouldn't expect Arrested Development to have something like what they have, but they have a dope album. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, with good messages, man. So yeah, man, that's my thoughts on that.
See, and that brings up classic because if things have to be timeless, the message has to stand the test of time as well. I'm drawing a blank. Controversial woman singer Nina Simone. Nina Simone said that music should reflect the times of which you're living in, because the music will speak about the heart, about the struggles of the people, and not only that, it would be the road to salvation by giving the oppressed message to the mind of those who are not aware of the oppression or who are doing the oppressing. Hip hop today is so oppressed that people don't even know that they're not talking to the people; they're talking ill of themselves. Do you agree? And what is your take?
When you say ill of themselves, you talking about rappers downplaying themselves or downplaying the black community, or what? I just want to make sure I'm following what you're saying.
I'll put it this way. Ignorance makes your oppressor seem righteous because through lack of intelligence, you make their ill-fated decisions and oppression to you seem warranted. Hip-hop today has done, not hip-hop culture, the usage of poverty against hip-hop and people who do music has made it seem like negativity is the norm when it's not. That's what I mean.
I mean, again, it still goes back to what music are we putting out? You know what I'm saying? Whatever we put out, whatever energy you putting out is the energy you're gonna get back. You know what I mean? So if hip hop is putting out more negative energy or images, rather, then the powers that be get a chance to leave hip hop in the same little box, and it's still gonna be looked at as something. Well, some people gonna look at it a certain kind of way anyway, and we can't worry about certain people outside the culture and how they view hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, we had to take control back of hip hop anyway. You know, and keep the people who are not of the culture. You know, it's too many. Hip hop has been infiltrated for one. Let me go. Sorry here. Hip hop has been infiltrated by too many people who don't love hip hop. Hip hop has been infiltrated by too many people who don't love black people. Hip hop has been infiltrated by too many people who don't even understand and respect the black community or respecting the black man, the black woman, black children. It's a fad to some people. It's even a fad to some record labels and people in positions of power. They look at it as an investment. It's a little investment for them. And just like I did a video recently about the culture vultures. They come in hip hop, they get what they want to get out of hip hop, and they desert hip hop. But as far as like the mass media, the public, and the perception of hip hop and stuff like that, it's gonna always be. We gotta just draw a line in the sand. You know, at the end of the day, we got to push expectations on the people in the culture who love it to make sure that we're feeding ourselves the right images because of the kids. You know what I'm saying? And at some point, we can't worry about anybody else outside of the culture because there's certain people outside of the culture who are going to always find a way. It's like Fox News. Fox News, I remember one time years ago when Nas did that Untitled album, Bill O'Reilly, I was watching because I watch everything. I'm an independent. I don't deal with this crap we got going on right now. I'm gonna watch everything. So I like to know what everybody think. One night on the Factor or whatever, he used all the stuff he could have used for Nas. He used that song "Shoot 'Em Up" from Nostradamus. He posted the lyrics on the page, and he was like, "Look at the gangster rap and all this stuff like that." It will make you think Nas was a gangster rapper. But he sure didn't put up any of the conscious songs that Nas did because he didn't want to paint that picture. See, certain platforms like that they're gonna still try to paint those same pictures of hip hop. Same thing Bill O'Reilly was doing. There's still people on Fox News doing that kind of stuff right now. You know what I'm saying? They still find a way, some kind of violence happen. They'll say, "Well, this dude is a rapper," because not everybody's called a rapper. You know what I'm saying? So anything going on in these hoods, the dude just because he got videos on YouTube with him and his homies outside spitting some rhymes. Why is he? But he's a street dude. Why is he a rapper? So it make it look like every other rapper is some violent guy who committing murders. You know what I'm saying? So to that point, I don't care about none of them because they're gonna still do that kind of stuff to us anyway. So they get the middle finger. You know what I'm saying? But we do have a responsibility. You know what I'm saying? To feed the culture some balance, like I said earlier, man. But yeah, man, it's complicated. Hip hop is complicated, man, because it's the most powerful music / culture in the world now. You can go to Tokyo right now, and they got clubs. You would think you was in New York. You would think you was in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? They love hip hop all over the world. You know what I'm saying? So it's so global now. Everybody want a piece of it, but everybody got an agenda too.
So let's talk about that. Because I want to shout out somebody on here. My man, his name is he goes by Daddy Rich. It's my man. He an artist. He got a viral song out right now, which you love me. You know what I'm saying? And that goes to show hip hop is so powerful that it's even structured in a very contentious way. You have mainstream hip hop and independent underground hip hop. And an underground and independent lane says, F y'all up top, because y'all gave all them the credit, but we've been holding out hip hop for years when the mainstream hip hop has been trash. Shout out to people like Daddy Rich. Shout out to people like Double O, Stress, Samaj Savage, Jay Wonder, E the Mad Assassin, Max Slug. Shout out to people like Scotty ATL, The Bad Seeds, Six Man Entertainment, Honey De Niro, Ty Phoenix. I love Ty Phoenix. Music is amazing. And we have artists like them who have been putting out good music, great music, Tony, classic music. And no one talks about them because the Phallus Olympics is not going on and people can't just ride the meat and just ignore them. Like, they're putting out great stuff. How do we as hip hop media, how do we as hip hop culture salute the independent and elevate them so the mainstream has to pay attention and they have to give them their props, and we elevate them to the point where we can't have a hip hop is dead. We can always say hip hop is evolving conversation, in your opinion.
Do what you're doing right now, and push people to do the same. Talk about them, share their music. See, a lot of times, just because someone's not famous, these platforms don't want to share the music. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get loved by people hearing your art. There's a lot of underground guys who've been putting out great music for a long time. The underground has never not been dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, in the whole hit, ever since early 90s, the underground has always been good. You know what I'm saying? There's never been a time where the underground didn't have artists making amazing music. You know what I'm saying? But somebody got to do it. I remember early 2000s when OK Player came out, we all on OK Player bigging up all these underground artists. You know what I'm saying? Because, I think Questlove was hosting it. Black Thought was on there a lot. A lot of people was on there. So that's how Little Brother started getting a bunch of love because of OK Player. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what we have to do. Everybody got these platforms on social media. If you know all these dope MCs and dope producers and singers and stuff like that, promote their music. Every so many months, I do a post. And I say, hey, everybody, you got new music, you got new albums, mixtapes, joints like that, whatever. Post it on this thread right here, and y'all share each other music. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do it every so many months. And if everybody do that, people will start recognizing some of these guys you name it. You know what I'm saying? You send them to me, I'll promote their stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, every little bit counts. I mean, I ain't one of them big. I ain't got 70,000 followers, but I got like 30. You know what I'm saying? So that's, I retweet people's stuff and repost people's stuff all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, check out the homie right here. Check out the young lady right here. She dope. He's dope. Anybody go on my page, they know I do that all the time. But everybody have to do it. You know what I'm saying? These platforms have to do it. You can't just talk about the popular people all the time. You can't just tweet about the biggest stars all the time. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we have to do. We have to push them up some. Give them a little bit more, give them some more exposure. And they got to be willing to take the exposure. And some of them at some point don't run from your greatness either. Because there's cats in the underground, you know what I'm saying, who are very dope. And at some point, the right person might hear them. Don't start trying, I'm keeping it real. No, if somebody's got a way to get your music, your song on the radio, you take that opportunity. If you get a chance to get your song in the club, you take that. If you want to make you a club banger, make you a club banger. All your shit ain't got to sound like DJ Premier. You know what I'm saying? And that's no knock. Because Premier my favorite producer. Even though Dre my GOAT, but Premier my favorite producer. You know what I'm saying? But everything ain't got to be boom bap this or some drumless thing here or something like that. Or I'm keeping it real. I'm keeping it soul samples and all that. No. If you're a dynamic MC that got multiple flows and you enjoy all kind of music and beats and production, make you some more music. Push all type of music. You know what I'm saying? And if you get an opportunity where they can play your joints, you take it. You ain't no sellout. Get your shit on the radio, bro. Get your streams if you able to get your streams. Stop worrying about that. Keep it real. Oh, you ain't nobody gonna take your hip hop license. Nah.
I think you made a great point. So let me ask you a historical question. Hip hop has always been keep it to ourselves. F the sellout. I remember EPMD. Keep the crossover.
Crossover, yeah. Crossover.
Now. Yeah. The crossover has been hated again because people say, I don't need the radio. I could do it myself. Not understanding that the radio is your music set to the biggest market, not you creating just a big market. When do you think the crossover was accepted, and why do you think the crossover is hated again?
The crossover was never accepted, really, but people adjusted to it because success is success. You know, even before EPMD and them did all that. There were people, this ain't nothing new. There are people who was mad at Will Smith and Fresh Prince. There's people that was mad at Kid and Play and Kwame, and some of those guys like that, as far as like the radio-friendly club joint. Some people wanted to keep it real and didn't like some of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you had that. Then the balance kind of happened with somebody like Heavy D, who like, you know what, people was respecting him. He had the dance songs, club songs, stuff on the radio, and it was acceptable, and people were still giving him love as a dope artist. But I think a lot of times now, some of the underground guys think, oh man, if I get a song on the radio, I'm not viewed as the same MC anymore. And that goes to, okay, some of your fans should grow with your music. You know what I'm saying? And some of them not gonna grow with you, because at some point your music gonna elevate and change a little bit. I mean, you can always keep it real and keep some of your old joints and all that stuff like that. That are certain sounds that people love. But if you expand your sound and you grow, your true fans will grow with you. They'll appreciate what you're doing. They'll know you're trying to make a living. They'll know you're trying to expand your brand. You know what I'm saying? And some of them, you know, and again, because your touring and stuff like that is important. You might not ever have a radio song, but you know what? If you stay true to yourself and make good music, there's people who never have any radio hits, and they've been touring for the last 30 years. All over Europe, all over Asia, everywhere, all over America. You know what I'm saying? So, but you can't worry about being accepted, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people never gonna accept radio friendly songs, club songs, joints that you can ride to your car with your family in it. You know, some people just they want a certain sound. You know, they want to listen to Jadakiss all day. So be it. Listen to Jadakiss all day. You know what I'm saying? Like, so some stuff you can't worry about, man. You can't worry about acceptance, because, you know, commercial hip hop never actually all the way been accepted by a certain segment.
But you know what? I'm gonna enlighten. Well, you probably know this because you said you're a music head. But I'm gonna enlighten some of our fellow melanated music fans on here too. These same conversations are happening with the Caucasian demographics of rock and roll.
Mm-hmm.
You have groups of them that have never had commercial hits that have been touring on major tours because a major artist picked them up and take them on their tours. I don't think this is a hip hop exclusive conversation. This goes everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what is hip hop exclusive is ageism. And part of what we're talking about is being true to yourself and having fans grow with you. Excuse me. It's also a part of making true music that the people can relate to. Do you think ageism in hip hop isn't really a cultural thing? Do you think it's an industry thing that funneled into the culture because of the how more easier it is to take advantage of a poverty of impoverished mind than an experienced person who knows the road?
The ageism thing is kind of complicated in hip hop, because on one end, there are certain other genres of music where you get more and more respect as you age. You know what I'm saying? And people respect you getting older. Where in hip hop, certain MCs and artists get older, and for some reason the disrespect starts. All of a sudden they're not who they are anymore. They're not important anymore. You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden Kumo D and Melle Mel and Grandmaster Caz not important anymore. All of a sudden, LL Cool J, don't ever disrespect James Todd Smith. You feel me? So all of a sudden, these guys get older, and well, LL is exceptional. LL's still amazing MC making dope music. But I'm just saying, for example, a lot of times in hip hop, you start looking at age. You know, we doing that to ourselves. Ain't nobody on the outside. We looking at people saying, "Hey, go. You know, you past your prime, or your music sound dated." I hear this stuff all the time. Oh man, it ain't age well. What does that mean? So we the one diluting our own music. We the one saying our music at some point don't sound good anymore when we say something like that. That's ageism right there. We're saying the artists shouldn't make music anymore. We're saying a lot of their old music didn't age well. It sound like 1994. It's supposed to sound like 1994. You know what I'm saying? Thriller sound like 1984. What's going on by Marvin Gaye? The greatest album I ever heard. You know what I'm saying? It came out in 1971. It sound like 1971. You know what I'm saying? As it's supposed to. You know, you're going to have your exceptions, like On a Bill for Cuban Links that was done in 95, but it sounded like it was done last year. It was just RZA just made some futuristic type production to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just some next level production. You know what I'm saying? So ageism in hip hop, I think is more of a problem than any other genre of music. It can be a problem in every genre of music, but I do think it's the all right, man, this is my block now, but I know you used to be a man on this block a long time ago, but it's my block now. You know what I'm saying? So we disrespecting other generations within hip hop culture, man. So the ageism part in that regard is a problem. Now, I mean, to me, that is just that simple. I know you're probably going some deeper psychology with it, but I think it's that simple.
No, I want to know what you think, because I think ageism in hip hop is the extension of the bully coon. For those of y'all who don't know, the bully coon was the black person who is used to keep other black people in check, so white people can get with their power, have their power, and he could be the HNIC because he's schooling everybody under him to their fight for their blessing on them. And it seems like when we're going through bully coonism in hip hop, it's like I have to be the best, and then that leads to gatekeeping, and then it's not really gatekeeping, it's bully cooning. And in today's hip hop, it seems like they have to put the youth against the elders because that keeps the culture separated. But to me, 2025 was such a special year because we saw the elevation of the posthumous album become art and not a money grab.
Yes, right, we did.
So talk about that. What you think about that?
Oh man, like it's funny you said that, because when I look at this, the De La Soul album was my favorite album of the year. You know what I'm saying? And rest in peace, Dave, man. That was a beautiful thing what they did. And you can tell they was very calculated in making sure it sounded like a De La Soul album. They didn't do nothing crazy to disrespect Dave's legacy or to try to trend or move units. They made a De La Soul album. You know, when it came to Mobb Deep and Prodigy, what Havoc and Alchemist did, man, it sounded like people still with us, man. You know what I'm saying? It sounded like a real Mobb Deep album, probably one of their top 4 albums. You know what I'm saying? It just really sounded like they did him justice. The Big L situation, I think they did the best they could with the little bit of music L had left, because most people know,
the Big L album was made by the fans, not just the family. So the fans picked the verses, and they put the fans pick verses, and so they put the best together. So it was a community album.
Okay, so that's that. And I'm not mad at that either, because at the end of the day, all his last unreleased music that we hadn't heard was on the Big Picture. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't understand that. So we got what we got with this one, because I feel like this is the end. I think that they did them justice as well as they could. And then if the people had their hands in it, then you can't be mad at it if other people's outside involved with it and the family gave their blessings. You know what I'm saying? Then, I'm not mad at it. I think that everything was done with class and grace this year, with the older artists and with the artists who passed on. They didn't just throw nothing together. It's kind of like, me personally, the example I would use would be like their Biggie duets. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, man, this that money grab, man. I was good after Born Again should have been it, man. You know what I'm saying? That was the last verses that people hadn't heard. Then he had the song, the Dead Wrong with Eminem. Had the joint that Come On with Sadat X and stuff like that. Like, a lot of people didn't even know he had a song with Sadat X. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't mad at some of that stuff, because those are real songs we weren't thrown together. You know what I'm saying? So when Born Again should have been the end, but duets would be the money grab, because now you're overdoing all those Pac albums at some point. Are you still down and all this stuff? And y'all did, you did too many Pac albums after he passed, to the point where it's like y'all just money grabbing Pac name and legacy now. Why y'all got like four greatest hits joints? You know what I'm saying? Why you got like so many of them Are You Still Down and Thug Mansion, all this shit, whatever? They said, like, how many y'all gonna do? You know what I'm saying? So for me, that's money grab. Like, don't get me wrong, a few of the joints was good, like hearing some unreleased Pac stuff, but I still felt like a lot of his stuff was money grab, and that's just an example of what they didn't do this year. You know what I'm saying? They did it the right way this year, and I think it was I hate the sound, it was a goodbye to a degree to those guys, and it was done with class, if that makes sense.
I think about how DMX's last album was, and I was like, that wasn't X.
And I was hoping it was gonna be better, man. Because the first song or two I heard, because I was on a little listening part of thing with Swiss Beats and all them, and some of them joints are like, damn, I like this. But then when I listened to the whole thing, I was like, oh, y'all could have still done better, man.
Yeah, I didn't like, even with Biggie duets, I like some of the songs on there. I'm not gonna lie, but the simple fact that the verses already, it was more like a mixtape than an album to me. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. Cause I heard the last. Did you hear the last Biggie tribute song? Did you hear the last one? It's an Afro Beats Biggie song. Did you hear that, Joe?
No.
Don't try. Don't even bother.
If I don't remember hearing that.
Good. I'm glad you don't have the wasted 3 minutes of life that I had with that.
Yeah, I don't remember that. I don't want to hear no more. I don't want to hear no more Biggie. I mean, not no new stuff people throwing together.
Yeah. I mean, God rest in peace to the legend Notorious B.I.G.
Absolutely. I just throw life on the death end, you know.
Rest in peace to his mother, Pac.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, that era is gone. And sometimes we need to let the eras die so we can appreciate where we came from and where we're going.
You have to.
Which goes once again to the word classic. Because people have made classic be aged. And classic also means timeless, undeniable music that no one can argue about. I think people are full of shit. So I want to ask you a question. What's the album you consider classic that you get kickback on all the time that you would defend as a classic?
Well, To Pimp a Butterfly. There's a segment of people who maybe they Drake fans, maybe they fans of us nothing style of hip hop, who is where it need to be, you know what I'm saying? Sound like Midnight Marauders or Hell on Earth or something like that, whatever, or it need to sound like Doggy Style. I mean, I don't know. But so they don't appreciate To Pimp a Butterfly. They don't get the lyrics to it. They don't get that it's jazz infused with blues and all of these things that people don't talk about. It has every type of production in it. I said it was this generation that take a nation a million with the messages. And then some people was like going at me with that. I'm like, okay, so let me say this. King Kunta, all right, Institutionalized, Mama, How Much a Dollar Cost, Complexion, Black of the Berry, Mortal Man. It is a conscious album. It is the most conscious hip hop album to me in the last probably 20 years, easily. The title tracks alone, what I said. Go now listen to the lyrics. Go read some of the lyrics on paper. It is a militant, conscious album by a person who was coming off a commercial successful album. Someone who is trying to, he's a star, want to be a star. You take a chance like that. You do a video like All Right. You got King Kunta, one of your singles. Do some of y'all youngsters understand why the King Kunta thing? Do you understand about roots and all that too? Slavery, everything like that? Did you listen to what he's saying in some of them songs? So, yeah, I got a whole lot of flack from that. To Pimp a Butterfly is a brilliant album, not just rap album. Brilliant album in general. That's the reason why, and people hate this, that's the reason why every professional review gave it 5 stars for a reason. That's not by chance. You know what I'm saying? And some of them reviewers don't even like hip-hop and still get 5. Same thing with Takes a Nation, a Million with Public Enemy. Chuck D and I don't having songs like Black Steel and Our Chaos and Can't Trust It, and y'all still gave them that album 5 stars because you couldn't deny the greatness. If you're a real critic and you step outside what I actually, what I prefer, I gotta look at the big picture of an album, and I got a whole lot of slack. I mean, of course, a lot of people think To Pimp a Butterfly is a classic, but a whole lot of people who follow me because they follow me for certain kind of takes, or they hate when I talk about that album.
People hate you for that, and they hate you for your Nas takes. I already know.
They hate me for a lot of stuff, but
I already know. But you know what's deep though? I want to give you some albums I consider a classic, and I want to know what you think about them.
Okay.
Onyx, All We Got Is Us.
So All We Got Is Us will go into that. Now again, I categorize stuff different. All We Got Is Us, I would call a East Coast classic.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like a New York classic because it has a certain sound, you know what I'm saying? And a certain fan base will follow that type of album to me. You know what I'm saying? But dope nevertheless, man. Like dope production, man. Actually dope rhymes. I mean, it actually underrated MCs. You know what I'm saying? Like dope MC. I saw them 2 years ago in at House of Blues in Atlanta, and they got busy.
Yeah. Okay. Redman, There Is a Dark Side.
Nah, but for me, but Muddy Waters to me is his magnum opus. You know what I'm saying? And so by a long shot to me, but people love There's a Dark Side too. You know what I mean? But nah, first of all, I don't even think it's Redman's best album, so I can't, but I think it's classic. If you're gonna give him for me, if I'm gonna give him 5 mics, I would give 5 mics to Muddy Waters. I just think it covered more ground, and he was a better MC overall on Muddy Waters to me. But again, I'm not mad just because you said Redman was your favorite MC, or GOAT MC.
Yeah, personal.
What personal?
Him and Nas are right there.
I say if it's your personal GOAT, it makes sense that there's a dark side. Is a classic to you, but shit ain't no classic to me.
That's all good. Look,
that's love though.
Yeah, here's another one. The Minstrel Show.
I would say more regional classic. You know what I'm saying? Now we do know what the Source did some BS because
yes, they did.
NBT.
Yes.
It got 4.5 mics. You know what I'm saying? And we know, everybody know for a fact, the album actually received 5 mics. They went in there and changed it. You know what I'm saying? That was Benzino when I remember when Knife called me, man. He was like, man, I gotta tell you something's going on with the Source magazine. I remember we had a conversation or whatever, and I like, what? They said what? But yeah, Benzino was part of that situation, man. The Minstrel Show originally got 5 mics. You know what I'm saying? They took a mic from him. Kind of like what Big Boy said on Equipment. I got to hit the Source and need my other half a mic. So that's still a play. Listen,
it was a classic.
Right? You know what I mean? So the same thing. I mean, so they got us nice, man. But, and me being North Carolina, I was pissed off we didn't get that 5 mics, man. But I would say more of an underground classic. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are underground classics. You know what I mean? So I would say that it's more of an underground classic than, because, my standard of a universal hip hop classic is different. You know what I'm saying? But
just to be clear, Benzino is the reason why Little Brother didn't have 5 mics. Just put that, make that clear.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
so what about the listening? Forget the Mr. Show. What about the listening?
The listening is an underground classic, bro. It's an amazing album.
But those are 2 classic albums. And Little Brother do not get the love they're supposed to get in the mainstream, but on the underground, they're loved.
Well, yeah. Well, this is the thing. This is what's funny. A lot of people that came after them looked up to them. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't realize that it's not talked about a lot. So that's why I talk about it a lot on my platform. That people don't know. Man, Drake is a huge Little Brother fan. J. Cole, look, Drake used to have a producer making beats like Knife. You know what I'm saying? Fonte did 2 tracks with Drake. You know what I'm saying? Like Don't You Got a Man, him and Pooh, and then Think Good Thoughts, man. Whatever. So Big Sean loved Knife and Little Brother. Wale, when back in the day when Knife did Back to the Feature for Wale. The mixtape, all the stuff like that. Wale loved Little Brother and all that stuff like that. J. Cole used to come down, Cat's Cradle Club, watch Little Brother perform, listen to how Knife making beats, not trying to bring his little thing up there, showing he was working on beats and stuff like that. So a lot of the big guy, Kendrick, there's a tweet from like 2010 or 9 or before that, where Kendrick posted on his Twitter, "Hey Knife, I just need to get on one of those beats, bro." You know what I'm saying? And because he was a fan of Little Brother and fan of Knife. And then he jumped on a track with his group we had called Actual Proof. They used to be on Jamla with Knife. And they had a song called Genius. And Kendrick did a verse on there way back like 2009, 10. And he was rhyming. We were like, darn, that dude, he gonna be kind of nice. Then we start hearing the Kendrick Lamar EP and Over the Dedicated and all that. So all these guys that's big right now, they were fans of Little Brother. You know what I'm saying? So on the underground and the Roots too, man. Questlove them love Little Brother. So and Talib, you know what I'm saying? Most Def and all them. So a lot of people who respect underground hip hop, and underground hip hop has its own culture as well. They rock with Little Brother, man. And the Listener was an underground classic.
One more album because we ain't gonna do this all night.
Yes.
The God Box, David Banner.
I like it, man. You know what I'm saying? I do. I like David Banner. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to David Banner, man. He got a lot of love for North Carolina, a lot of love for Knife. They did that Death of a Pop Star, whatever album back in the day. He rocked with North Carolina, and that's a good album. I like that album. He promoted it as good as he could. He was all over the place promoting that album back in the day. You know what I'm saying? I do like it, man, because David Banner has some consciousness with him. You know what I'm saying? Like he's a thinker. You know what I'm saying? And he feels, you know what I'm saying? He puts that in his music, man. I have a lot of respect for him because he's a real one. You know what I'm saying? But Yeah, I think it's a good album, man. Very good album. You know what I'm saying? But I wouldn't go past very good, but it's a very good album to me.
On Instagram, shout out to my man Nerd-ish. He said Forest Hills Drive. What'd you think? Classic or no?
You know, I did a video about a year ago saying Forest Hill Drive and Drake Take Care, because they two of the biggest guys in this generation, along with Kendrick. I said I think both of them will be considered classics for their generation. You know what I'm saying? So I do believe 2014 Forest Hill and Take Care and Good Kid, Mad City, when all of them came out, I think just like Nas said on Magic, you know, Drake, Cole, and Kendrick, that's Biggie J and Nas of their generation. You know what I'm saying? I think they all have their magnum opus. And so I would say that Forest Hill would make the cut of a classic.
I'm glad you had that conversation with me, because I believe in this. There's no old music to new ears. No song can be old to a new set of ears.
Facts.
And when we always say dated and all that, you're basically putting our culture in a box.
Yes. And
boxes get stacked up and thrown forgotten.
That's true, man.
And there's nothing like people saying Sexy Red and Ice Spice are destroying hip hop, but you had women like Lucille Bogan who talked about oral sex and things like that in 1940s and 50s.
Yeah.
It's nothing like our parents saying you listen to that bibbity bop boopty boop shit and it's violent, but they had first you buy yourself a shotgun now with Junior Walker and the All-Stars, right? But just the same way, as much as the bully cone syndrome has been put in place to make people hate themselves to appeal to other people, and we had those sellouts and those people in politics now, hip-hop has been the one thing that has given America the face of the people that it has disparaged for years.
Yeah.
Any one trait of hip-hop that's enduring, in your opinion, what is it?
One trait that's enduring? Man, that's a very good question, man. That's a very good question. I don't even know if I've been asked that my whole life. Let me think on that. Enduring. You know what though? When I just think about it, there's a certain part of hip hop that's family orientated, because we're a family at the end of the day. The black community is still a family. And in our family, we fight. We have issues with each other. We love each other, but we have situations where, you know, it's not always great, just like in the community, man. But I think that it's kind of like grandma baking the cake. It's still made out of love, though. Hip hop is still made out of love. You know what I mean? So there's gonna always be a section of us who will never let that cake go bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, so the enduring part for me is there's gonna always be a section of this music that love it to the core, and gonna fight for it. You are one of them doing it right now. I'm one of them doing it. We fight for it. You know what I'm saying? And we're old and out the way. There's going to be people behind us going to love it and fight for it, because, you know, I think it's that deep. Every culture of music, every genre of music going to go through highs and lows. It's going to be times where it's hot and cold, whatever. But with hip hop, because it originated out of a lot of pain. You know what I'm saying? Like, it originated, you know, hip hop is almost like post-civil rights music. You know what I'm saying? For black people. Of course, we had the 70s and Marvin and Motown and all that, but this on a more urban level where the kids can be a part of this movement of music, because kids wasn't doing like Motown and jazz like that, not to this level of hip hop. It's going to always be that affinity, man, where nobody can take the love all the way out of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that part is enduring, man. We was raised on it. It's a part of our fabric. You know, some people, they make music because it's fun or it feels good. We are the music. It's literally in our, like I said, in our blood, man. You know what I'm saying? You can't never take that. As long as there's a black community, there'll always be hip hop in some form or fashion. It's gonna always be alive in some fashion, man. That's because the way the roots of the way it grew out of what we was dealing with, and that won't change.
Yeah, that's dope. Before we wind this down, I wanted to say thank you for appearing on my platform, because, like I said, I asked you many times, bro.
Did you?
Yes, I did. I wrote you a couple times, bro.
I don't know. Did I respond to it?
No. I think maybe
I couldn't have seen it there, bro.
Maybe it's because I was on the timeline and not in another way. I don't know. Like Twitter, me and Twitter have a bad relationship.
If you DM me, bro, and I see it, I'm gonna respond. You know what I'm saying? So if it's on my timeline, you know, it's kind of going fast.
That's what I'm saying.
Because they could be going fast. You know, people be going crazy on some of my tweets, bro. So if you might have said something, I might not seen it, man. But I'm glad we got a chance to have that conversation for sure, man. I love talking to people who actually love the culture.
Yeah, and that's why I really wanted to talk to you, and especially anybody who gets hate what it takes. I love to talk to y'all the most because that's life. What we're doing, that discourse is what was called college back in the past.
Yeah,
the school of the prophets in the spiritual books was you believe this, I believe this. Let's talk about it. The debate. Or the class was the debate, and then what they did was separate for a week and then come back and talk about their views again to see if they stuck with the same views or not. And that's college. That's a discourse, and I actually love that.
No doubt.
Not only that, what you were about to say? Go ahead.
No. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, and not only that, the most important part that I like about having these conversations, because it's not about a right or wrong, it's appreciating another person's perspective, so you have more brotherhood than you have and more camaraderie than you have opposition.
Absolutely.
One of the biggest lies we were ever taught was men and women were the opposite sex, because when we oppose, we fight. We're complementary. Our people, generally, we were always taught to be complementary because men and women came together to create life. That was godliness. You know, not disparaging anybody else. That's your thing. I'm just talking about how society was groomed in our culture, not just hip hop. Our overall culture was complementing each other. So I wanted to put that out there. And to end my show, I always do the rapid fire questions, which are not yes, no questions. These questions are to show your understanding of hip hop, your appreciation of hip hop, and your knowledge of the culture. So you want to do a couple questions real quick? Here we go.
Oh, you asking me some questions?
Yeah, just real quick.
Yeah. That's fine, bro.
Here we go. Question number 1. Is AI a threat to hip-hop culture, or will it make hip-hop culture more enriched and better?
AI is a threat to music.
Talk about it.
Well, at the end of the day, even right now, we're starting to hear songs or see videos, and we can't tell if it's a person doing it or if it's artificial. So it's taken away from time we could spend watching the actual person whose blood, sweat, and tears created that song. You know what I'm saying? So if I spend time watching this 5-minute video of this AI, I'm not even sure what it is, that's 5 minutes taken from me listening to some person who woke up this morning, was writing their stuff or singing their song, and then put it out to the world to hear, and they're getting less listens because people are getting preoccupied with some nonsense. You know what I'm saying? So, but now at the same time, if you got a DOC and Benny Siegel, people like that who lost their voice because of health reason or accident, and they need some assistance because their voice is gone, I can dig that way more. I can dig with somebody creating AI for a record company or creating it for the radio, and you taking food out the mouths of real people and real talent. So now I don't see nothing good in AI and come to music outside of assisting someone in a medical situation. I hate it.
What about, but I said the culture, not just the music. What about the people who are like podcasters? Like this was made of AI. I think this is one of the best sets I ever had. Or people who do artwork. And I have a big dream when it comes to my creativity in hip hop.
Yeah.
And I've gone for help, and people have charged me $500 to $1,500 to get one thing put on a piece of paper where I went to AI and they did it for me right there with an idea and a couple clicks.
Well, as you should. Well, as you should. And yeah, certain businesses will suffer because of something like that. But at the same time, when it comes to certain business, they are doing bad business. Some people are overcharging people for a product they know is not worth the price you charging me for. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that will force someone to say, let me be smart with my finances for my platform, and let me find another way where I can get something done without spending, So yeah, evolution will always change certain things, right? So yeah, certain things won't be as important, but we talking about music. We do need the music to be pure. art sometime when it comes to visual art, that's gonna always there's gonna be a section of that's going where people gonna still be artists, but there will be certain things where it will be generated with a computer because we are going into the new, to the future. So some stuff can't be stagnant. It's gonna grow. Our voices, we're still people. So when it comes to visually and what we're saying and what we're singing and stuff like that, we still got to control that. You doing something for a visual in the back, that's one thing. But us talking and singing and communicating, if we start tampering with communication, how the future generations gonna even talk to each other? At some point, people won't even talk to each other anymore.
And that's what's been the message in many cartoons since the 80s.
Yep.
Advantage of it, understanding that. Let me ask you your next question. What album or single from an artist perfectly describes you?
Album, man, that describes me. Hip hop album.
Hey, what up? You
That's a good question, man. I think I might go with Tupac, Me Against the World, man. Because I used to write poetry and write short stories and all this stuff like that as well. And when I think about songs like so many tears and Lord knows, and the Dear Mama thing, because me, I lost my mom when I was 1 year old. My mom died when she was 27 years old. A stomach cancer, 27 years old. Didn't drink, didn't smoke, didn't do nothing. Died 27. My grandma drink, smoke, party, everything. Died in sleep at 90 years old. That's life, right? So there's no rhyme or reason. But so that Dear Mama touched me to be different. So many tears, because I'm a deep thinker. Writing back in the day. I feel that song. I feel that song. Lord knows on Me Against the World. I feel all that. So it will be that type of. It would be that type of album that I think would describe me. That album would be one. And as far as outside hip hop, that Marvin Gaye, what's going on? I think I'm a history nerd. So him doing that about the war and about poverty, about social justice and stuff like that, I'm into that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it would be those two joints. Now a song is different. I don't know about a song, man. Like one song, dude. Inner City Blues, man. Again, but because of the way I look at history and Black history, and I used to always study the history of Blacks in America from the inception. What we think the inception was us getting here, and all the way through the slavery and Jim Crow and black codes and all of that stuff. I'm into that, so that's why I would say that song, man. And I was just looking at some stuff yesterday on civil rights and stuff like that. So anytime I come across them, I'm a Malcolm X nerd, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. So Inner City Blues made perfect sense to me because I understand, those conditions was manufactured. It wasn't by chance, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it would be that joint.
I like that. Used to rhyme?
So what?
Used to rhyme?
Nah, everybody think I used to and I didn't, you know what I'm saying? And one of my homies the other day, they saw my little man upstairs making beats, and he was like, "You better not start rapping." I said, "Dude, I don't rap." You know what I'm saying? I write. I'm a writer. You know what I'm saying? Could I rap? Probably, because I can write, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. But nah, man, that ain't my thing. I leave that to, that's one of those things where I say, hey, leave it to the professionals, man. Leave it to the cats that can rhyme.
Okay. So I'm gonna change my questions for you a little differently because I talk to a lot of artists. I'm gonna talk to you as a podcaster historian. Give me 5 songs from your soundtrack of life.
5 songs from my soundtrack of life, man. So just now, since I did say something about Pac, I had to throw that in. I'm gonna throw in Lord Knows from Pac. I'm gonna throw in Inner City Blues from Marvin Gaye, because I already said that was one of my joints, so I gotta leave that there. Let me think of the last 3. That would be, I'm gonna say Biggie Juicy, because I love hip hop so much. That's the perfect rap song.
Okay. Just
saying that was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine. It's a perfect rap song, so I would use that one for my hip hop history. I'm gonna say You Brought the Sunshine by the Clark Sisters, because my father a minister, man. So I grew up in and out of church whenever my grandparents helped raise me because my mom passed. So he came and gave me for good in high school because I was getting in trouble. But growing up, I'm in and out of church, and that was always the song that reminded me of growing up and going to church on a Sunday morning, man. So You Brought the Sunshine, the Clark Sisters, man. That's the spiritual part of me. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely say that joint. One more. Let me give you one more, man. Sade, No Ordinary Love, man. That's my go-to song. It's poetic. She was fascinating, man, and that's the one right there when I think about the women. You know what I'm saying? So I got to do the spiritual, I got to do the women, I got to do the streets, I got to touch a little bit of everything, man. So those probably be the ones right there, man, to be honest with you.
I salute you. Here's my next question. What's the most important instrument in hip hop today?
The most important instrument? Hey man, the MC's voice, man. The voice is always the most important, because I could bang my table and still rhyme and still give you music. You know what I'm saying? So nothing's more important than a person's voice.
Okay. Next question. As a historian, what's the most important piece of documentary or film needed for somebody to appreciate hip hop?
You know what? Crush Groove.
Shout out to the 40th anniversary of Crush Groove this year.
Hand a kid, if I was introducing somebody to hip hop or somebody way in the future, it's like, man, hip hop culture, man, well, where it started or how it looked or what's this, what that, man, hand them Crush Groove. Let them look at it.
All right, cool. What's the most important book you read when it came to hip hop?
Most important book I read? Well, you know what's funny? I'm gonna say, me personally, I'm reading one right now, but before, and I'm almost finished with the one I'm reading right now. But I'm gonna say there's a guy on the mic that fit the greatest MCs, man, because the way Kumo D broke down the MC, everything that revolves around a rapper, you know what I'm saying? It was brilliant to me, you know what I'm saying? So for me, that's my favorite, most important one, because I'm always in a ranking MCs and saying who do this, who do that, whatever. And that was I think it came out like 2003. And for me, that was like the perfect book. I think I read that joint like 3 or 4 times. I still got it. I want to say it's in my storage in my basement, but it would be that one for me.
Salute to you for that. I have a couple more questions. We ain't gonna be too much longer. This was a great interview. Yeah, I appreciate the conversation and the wisdom. What do you think it would take for a woman to be elevated higher in hip hop rather than be condemned to the sex symbol in the anti-culture picture?
You know what? It go back to what I said earlier when Mos Def was like, how we're doing is how hip hop is doing. You know what I'm saying? Once we get out of this phase, there'll be time again for another Lauryn Hill, because people remember how 98 was. The first 96 with the way the score was with the Fugees, everybody was like, that Lauryn Hill chick is special. She comes out of Miseducation, and she won like 5 or 6 Grammys that night. She swept the Grammys. It was like one of the biggest Grammy nights in the history of music. And this is a hip hop and a soul artist winning everything with the Miseducation. She was the largest you could beat, but her own personal life made her disappear from the spotlight, and she dimmed her own shine. You know what I'm saying? So, but at the same time, we also had MC Lyte, Queen Latifah, and all these other people, Salt and Pepper, and everybody in the 80s and 90s and stuff. So it can happen again. It's going to depend on what's getting pushed. Obviously, I mean, if you're going to get pushing kind of strip club music to a degree, you're going to still have your Megas and your Cardis and your Nicki Minaj. Some of them, they've plateaued though in terms of their subject matter. Most of them won't ever change. They'll just disappear at some point and do other things in life. So somebody like Rhapsody, she'll be rapping forever, but she'll never be more famous than them. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna take at some point, and she's been around for a long time now. People don't even realize that. But it'll take for some younger female MC who gonna have some total package. She might have to sing and rap like Lauryn Hill because people attention span so short. You got to give people everything. So I think it's gonna happen. We're probably about 5-10 years away from it. You know what I'm saying? But I do think at some point it will open up again. But that person to open the door for the females on that level again is gonna have to be super talented like Lauryn Hill, and they can probably have to be able to sing and rap.
I miss when hip hop had cross promotion power, like the Sprite commercial,
Oh,
the Voltron.
yeah,
And
that was very dope.
huh?
The Voltron was very dope.
Classic. And I mean, the Five Deadly Venoms with the ladies.
Yeah.
And right now, Nas couple with Marvel to do Legend Has It.
Yeah, I saw it.
Be a hip hop nerd. If Nas did Legend Has It too, what 5 albums would you want?
Man, you know what? I was talking about this the other day on Twitter, man. So 5, I was saying if they keeping this thing next year with Mass Appeal, I would like to see Kool G Rap album come out for Mass Appeal because Nas and Kool G Rap do for something. I mean, I don't know what's taking so long. I like to see Kool G Rap. I like to see AZ album on Mass Appeal. I know he's doing that Do or Die 3, but he hasn't said where it's coming from. But I know last couple of tours and stuff Nas been on, AZ been popping out doing Life's a Bitch and some of his own songs on tour with Nas. So maybe he gonna do, a Legend Has It, and maybe Do or Die 3 is gonna be on Mass Appeal. Who else I like to see? Kool G Rap, AZ. You know what? I like to see Q-Tip do an album. I like to see Q-Tip do an album with Mass Appeal and Nas. I need Busta Rhymes. Need to come back one more time, man. I wouldn't mind seeing him do one with them. Now, older acts, man, if I want to think about somebody else coming older, if I scrap Busta and just want to go back older again, I probably want to see a group because groups did so well this year, man. Maybe MOP on there, man. Maybe an MOP album, though. Who else, man? What's the name was touring a couple of years ago? Diggable Planets was touring a couple of years ago. I wouldn't even be mad at something like that. I would like to see 90s acts, man. Some of them 90s acts right there, man. There might be some of the ones that come to mind right there, man.
I rock with you. I'm gonna add something to it. I would love to see the Ghostface and MF Doom album come out on Mass Appeal. That would be an eye opener.
Yeah, man. Ghost and Doom, the stuff they did do, they had good chemistry.
And shout out to Nas, because I believe the beginning of this Legend Has It run did not start with Mass Appeal. In my hip hop nerdiness, I would say this Legend Has It started when Where Are They Now came out, and he had the West Coast remix, the old
yeah,
school, and that was dope. That's why Nas is the GOAT to me, because instead of just rhyming and making money, he's actually giving back to the culture. And people always ask, who's the GOAT, Nas or Jay-Z or Tupac and all them? No disrespect to Pac because he passed away, or Biggie or nothing. I think, or LL Cool J. I think LL and Nas are running it because they took the appreciation for the culture into a business aspect and they're giving back to the community.
Yeah, and we don't even talk about those Where Are They Now songs like we should, because one of them, he had all these East Coast people on there, which was very dope. There, you go over there and have all of those West Coast guys, legends from the Candyman and everybody. You got all these people, so we got to talk about that again. I did a post about that years ago. I need to pull that up now. You made me think about it again. But yeah, that type of stuff is not talked about enough, man. But yeah, that would be.
Let's do that together. What's up?
Okay, yeah.
I'll let you run that one. That's what's up.
Yeah. We'll talk on that one again.
All right. So here, first time I have Heritage Hip Hop rapid fire questions. Do you want to ask me any questions? Shoot.
Ask you any questions right now. Okay, so I like to always ask people this. All right, first of all, your 5 favorite albums. Hip hop
only.
Hip hop only.
It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back.
Okay.
That's my favorite hip hop album of all time.
Okay. It's the greatest to me. Go ahead.
All right. Number 2, Illmatic.
Okay.
Number 3, Death Certificate. Number 4, Only Built for Cuban Links.
All right.
I'll put that up there. And number 5, Life After Death.
All right. 5 most overlooked MCs. Did you know it's dope, man? But for some reason, they never get talked about the way they should be. 5 overlooked MCs.
Brother J from the X Clan.
Brother J, dope, man.
What's my man? Money B from Digital Underground.
Whoa, okay.
All right. Number 3, Speech from Arrested Development.
Yeah, Speech is dope.
Number 4, I'll take it back to the East Coast, and I'm going to New Jersey. I would say overlooked MC. Well, he's known, but I don't think people really talk about. No, you know what? I'm not going to do him. No, I am. Tame One from the Artifacts.
Okay.
And number 5, a great that's not considered a great, but he should be. To many people is Razzcast. That's my 5 right there.
The Waterproof MC.
Yep.
Yeah, the Waterproof MC, man. All right, last one. Who is the most underrated producer to you?
KG, Naughty by Nature.
People were saying that today, man, when I posted that. Like a lot of people saying that about KG, man, and he a dope producer, man, and you know, he could do hip hop and R&B, man. You know what the stuff he was doing with Janae and all that was very, very dope. You know what I'm saying? Like he's a real musician. You know what I'm saying? Like he can really go. Oh, you know what? Let me ask you this, man. What was the best song in the excluding Not Like Us? What was the best song in the Drake and Kendrick battle to you?
None. I ain't like none of them.
You ain't like none of them.
I thought the battle was whack. They didn't move me. There was nothing about them. It was mudslinging. It wasn't really music. So I didn't really get in. They were whack. They were trash to me. They were very subpar. All of them was subpar. Oh, all of them.
Okay, well that's fair enough. Yeah. We good then, Playboy.
So there y'all go. So first time on the rapid fire questions, I let the guests ask me some questions. Here's one more question before we got 2 last questions and we're gonna phase out. How did you like being on the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast, and would you recommend us to anybody else in the culture?
Man, I had a great time, man, and I had a great time because whenever I talk to someone, I can know the hip hop history, respect the hip hop history, and show love. You know, I'm always, recommend them. You know what I'm saying? So absolutely.
All right. And the last question. We have a digital footprint and everything is going digital, and we have AI preserving everything. So 500 years from now, when we are passed away and the Hip Hop Hall of Fame has a podcast with media division, we are there. Tony the Dome is there. People are going to watch your show and be inspired by the work you've done, by the words you said. What is the legacy you leave behind that made the world better because you did hip hop and music in general? Music, appreciation in general.
If anything, I think someone would look at it and say, man, that's someone who actually took the culture serious, studied it, knew about it, shared everything that he knew about it, showed the love to people who loved it, you know what I'm saying, and gatekeep the right way, you know what I'm saying, and never embarrass hip-hop, you know what I'm saying, always tried to elevate it, man, and with what he could do, you know what I'm saying, so I think people will see something and say, man, that dude right there, he loved hip-hop. Even if I ain't agree with what he just said or I listen to something like that, I tell you what, he loved it. He wasn't just saying something just to be saying it. So I think that people respect you if you really show that you care about what you're talking about. And that lasts forever.
Well, I want to shout you out with that. Hey, yo, do me a favor. Tell Ninth Wonder I want to put a song out with one of his old beats that's on YouTube. But I want to do it correctly. So if I have to put him in the BMI and everything, tell him let me know. Because I really want to put something out. Because I don't know how producers do that kind of stuff no more because they instrumentals are all on there. You know what I'm saying? But I have a friend who's one of my favorite MCs of all time. His name is Sha Skills.
Okay.
And my friend actually is dying as we speak.
Oh.
Right? And he has like some ailments, and he said his dying wish was to have his voice and his music be heard. And he did a freestyle to me on the Heaven Sent instrumental that Ninth Wonder did. And I want to put it out for Valentine's Day for next year. And I would like nice blessings. So if you can help me with that, please. If not, it's cool.
Well, let me ask you this too. Yeah, you have that recording?
Yeah.
I need to get that recording.
Okay.
See what's up.
I really want to put that out and give him the respect of giving one of his last wishes honored. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man, Shaw Skills. EA all day, Elizabeth Avenue, North New Jersey. Salute to all y'all down there that's watching. And yo, man, it's a pleasure, man. Like this was dope, man. I really appreciate this with you. If you ever want to do this again, let's kick it. You kick the subject, we get the thing on, and we just rock on it. You know, out of respect. Thank you so much.
That'll work, my dude. Appreciate you.
All right, so everybody out there, thank you for joining us. Make sure you subscribe to his YouTube channel. Link will be in the description. Of course, you know, follow Heritage Hip Hop. Get some of that merch. Check out the store. We sell a little Super 7 hip hop action figures. We got all that for you. And most importantly, we have love for the culture. We introduce you to your future favorite artist today while celebrating hip hop culture from its foundation, from then to the now. And right now, we out of here. Peace. And we
real hip hop, real hip hop. We here, real hip hop, for real.